women that I'm going to get into a lot of trouble telling you. And this is something that they will take to the grave, I swear. Don't even bother asking her, because it does not matter how good of a woman she is. She will not admit this. When a woman is single and she has options, there is only ever one man that she wants the most at one time. And she is not confused about this, no matter what she tells you. Sadly, and what's really messed up is that this is not always the man that she is currently with. Even if she's not dating anyone in particular, if she's just in the talking stages with a few different guys, she will typically not be giving her attention to the man that she likes the most. And this is what confuses men, because it might feel like she's giving you a lot of attention and energy, but she seems to always have too much going on, or she's just not in the right place for a relationship, or she'll say that I'm just not ready for a relationship. She will only say that to the man that is not her number one. And the reason why she's not giving most of her attention to the guy that's number one is because she wants that number one guy to chase her. But if that man is not chasing her and she still likes him the most, she will cope with it by getting attention from guy number 2, 3, 4. Women will essentially use these men for their time and attention in order to feel good about herself until that number one guy gives her what she wants, or she finds a new number one guy. Do you want me to tell you another secret about women that I'm going to get into a lot of trouble telling you? And as always, this is something that they will take to the grave, I swear. Don't even bother asking her, because it does not matter how good of a woman she is. She will not admit this. A woman that treats you differently and thinks of you differently after you are vulnerable with her does not love you. But let me get clear on this. She does not love you for who you are as a person. She likes you for what you provide, and she wants to continue to receive those benefits. But women truly reveal themselves when you're going through a difficult time, or if you just share something vulnerable with her. Because women that are not with you for the right reasons and do not truly love you, she will view your vulnerability as a threat to what she wants to continue to receive from you. Whereas the right woman that truly loves you, this vulnerability will not be a threat. She actually will do everything that she can to make you feel better, or to even support you. And this is why, guys, I highly recommend that you are vulnerable fairly early on in your relationships, because then you can determine earlier rather than later what kind of woman you have. Do you want me to tell you another secret about women that's going to get me into a lot of trouble? And don't bother asking her, because I think that a lot of women are not even aware that they're doing this. When women have really strict expectations of what they want in a man, you know, the lady with like a list of 20 things that a man needs to have, and she probably has like 50 guys in her DMs, but none of them are good enough. It is because she has been dating casually for far too long. And that has not been fun. I think a lot of you guys can relate to the fact that dating is not that fun. But because of that, because of everything that she's been through, she needs the grass to be greener on the other side. So she wants the man that's good looking, has a lot of money, and has good values, even when she doesn't even have any of those qualities herself. I know it's really messed up, but that is the only way that she sees what she's been through, or what she has said no to, or even the relationships that she has ended in the past. That's the only way that she's going to say in the end that it was worth it. Do you want me to tell you another secret about women that I'm going to get into a lot of trouble telling you? And this is something that she will never own up to. She will never take accountability for this. A woman will never admit to how much she loves drama, because without it, her life just seems a little bit too boring. It's why women love drama in movies, in books, and even in music. They soak it up, because guess what? With drama, there's a bad guy and there is a victim. And women, for the most part, they want to play the victim, or they want to support the victim while demonizing the bad guy, allowing that drama to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, to her, drama makes everything a little bit more interesting and less boring. That is why that same type of woman will see the good guy as boring. Because a good man nowadays, he is out for peace, not drama. And that's why guys typically just get either really good at coping with or avoiding the drama that his woman brings home, or he's just single. You want me to tell you another secret?
And where do we go?
She goes, why don't you just sleep around like I've been doing for the last few years? It's made me way happier than any marriage ever could. I'm sitting here like, that was the worst possible answer. Like, Jesus Christ. Then it gets crazier. She goes, I finally hit a milestone this weekend that I've been working towards since I decided to start doing this. She goes, I just hit my 500th body. And I'm sitting here like, holy, you slept with 500 people. Like, I thought I was the type of person that didn't care about body count, but when I heard 500, I didn't even graduate with 500 people. That's like trying to collect STDs, like you're trying to fill out a Pokedex. Like, gotta catch them all. She continues sliding over to me, puts her hand on my shoulder, rubs like it down my arm, and she goes, I can make you forget all about her. And I'm sitting here like, God damn it. Like, yes, but no. The server's cleaning a table next to me. Like, I wanted to grab the sanitizer and be like, no, and spray her with it. And like my arm at that point.
Wow, guys, this is exactly why you want to know the backstory on the woman that you're interested in. Because she can look like your type, but not be your type. So stay informed, guys, because you don't want to be guy number 501.
She goes, why don't you just sleep around?
Just wondering why men are like this. That's literally fettuccine in a vase. As if we don't have Tupperware or anything else to put this in.
This is the thing about men that you may not realize. Men will use what they can find, and if they can't find it, they will improvise. But right off the bat, I could think of 3 reasons why this actually worked out better than using Tupperware. 1, it fits perfectly into the fridge at that point because it doesn't waste any vertical space. 2, it's glass, so you're not going to end up with any red stains on the Tupperware because it's plastic, and you can see easily what is in it. Lastly, 3, he has it perfectly covered with plastic wrap, so there's not going to be any extra weird smells in the fridge. Please let me know if I missed any reasons why this actually worked out better, guys. I do think that it is totally good to have some lightheartedness in the relationship. So her making fun of her husband could be taken completely fine by her husband, and he might be able to just laugh at himself. But with that being said, I do think that his decision to use this kind of made sense. The amazing thing about a good man that wants you is that he will make time for you. He'll call you, he'll text you, and he will make plans with you. He will never ghost you or leave you without any response. If you are important to him, he will tell you. He's not playing any games that will make you second guess him. You will not have to ask for effort, but you will have to reciprocate effort back. Because this is a man that respects himself and everyone else around him, so do not waste his time. The amazing thing about a good man...
Hey, honey, I was gonna play some video games for a little bit.
Oh, okay. Are you feeling all right? You've been quiet the last couple days.
Ashley, come on, man. Don't do it. Don't do what? You were about to tell her how you've really been feeling lately, right? Yeah. All your stress is about your job and money and not having enough time for her, not getting enough sleep, right? And I'm saying, don't. And why not? Come on, you know the drill. Nobody gives a fuck how you feel. You're a man. And guess what? Your feelings aren't going to pay the bills, and they're not going to provide a life for this amazing woman, now are they? Come on, I just need to be honest and vulnerable with you for once. Wow! And what is that going to accomplish? I'll feel better. It's not going to solve any of your problems, and it's certainly not going to make her more attracted to you. That's for damn sure. Okay, so what do? Do what you've always done. Suck it up, keep it to yourself, and tell her everything's fine. Yeah, you're right. Duh.
Honey, is everything all right?
Yeah, no, baby, everything's fine. Hey, honey, I was going to play some video games.
Okay, we're on a very important mission. It's to meet this guy right here. The Oyster Man. Let's go.
Can we talk about the man that gave everything he could to the wrong relationship? Because he felt like he was in love like never before. He gave everything right away. Not only his heart, but his strength, his vulnerabilities, and really everything that he worked hard for in order to be in the place that he is in life. He even made sure for years before getting into a relationship to build up and to hold himself accountable to his values and beliefs. And because of this, he was successful in life, including financially. The problem that came in was that that man ended up meeting a woman that needed saving. Because what he didn't realize at the time was that she was drawn to him because of all the great things in his life. And he fell for it. He fell for her. And then when it came time for him to save her from her situation, he did just that. And it was only when he had a moment of weakness that her true intentions were revealed. He unfortunately found out that she was just using him for the attention, the support, and the money. That man is a good man that wanted to assume the best in anyone and everyone, but now he knows better. Can we talk about the man that gave everything he... This one might get me into a lot of trouble, but I'm starting to think that one of the main problems today is that men are being told what a real man is by a woman that had no father.
And why is that, Emily?
Oh, because women that don't have fathers tend to misunderstand men because they unfortunately have never had a healthy relationship with a man, which isn't her fault as a child, but it is her responsibility as an adult to recognize this and to not project that lack of relationship into all men are bad. Does that answer your question?
Why does that woman not have a father?
Oh, you wanted to turn it into another topic that you could blame men for. Some women don't have a father because her mom didn't want her to, or her dad didn't want her to, or maybe life just turned out that way and her dad died.
Did he abandon his family? Did he not live up to the responsibility of having a family? Did he unalive himself? Where's the man's responsibility in that?
Well, you only covered the times that only a man is responsible, so I'm starting to think there's a bias here.
Instead of answering those questions, women like this will attach themselves to the proximity and to the acceptance of vile men.
I'm sorry, did you just call my dad, my two older brothers, my fiance, and my son vile? Because they are in closest proximity to me.
She has accumulated over 3 million followers with these sorts of takes.
Takes a full raw truth that a lot of people have a hard time listening to.
And it's really interesting because as somebody who criticizes men often, who criticizes the patriarchy,
Maybe it's because you don't have any men in your life that allows you to overly criticize men without any efforts to learning how they think.
men see criticism as an attack to their fragile ego.
It's not that they have a fragile ego, it's that you're not making any efforts to know how they think.
This is the story of me agreeing to get an older woman pregnant and then her trying to ruin my life.
For anyone that hasn't heard this story yet, this is essentially a man that agrees to get an older woman pregnant with no strings attached, but then she proceeded to attach as many strings as possible after she was pregnant, which included involving his family, bringing the child into his life, telling him that she wanted to be in a relationship with him and to be this little family, and then even taking him for child support. But then when he doesn't want the same things as she does and he doesn't do the things that she wants him to do, she leverages his relationship with his daughter. But it gets crazier because at some point, this man questions paternity and he decides to get a test. He finds out that he is not even the father, which is just next level because besides what it does to him, I cannot imagine what it does to that child. And as a mom myself, I do not comprehend this. The fact that paternity fraud actually happens today in this day and age, it blows my mind. This story needs to serve as a very cautionary tale for all men. One of the main complaints that I hear from good men that are looking to date and that are looking for something real and long term is that being single in 2024 can look like very different things. It can look like situationship single, still in love with your ex single, single working on yourself single but not really ready to date single, or still living with your ex-spouse single, which is why I always recommend to men to get the backstory on the woman that you're interested in. One way to do this is by using publicdatacheck.com's property search feature, which will tell you who else is on the deed to the house, which might save you a lot of hassle. One of the
Hey, one thing about it, if we're talking and you ask me if I can get a babysitter, then we ain't gonna be talking no more. I really want to hang out with a man for free. You think I want to pay to hang out with one? No, child, I don't. I want to hang out with my kids anyway. Goodbye.
The thing is that no man wants to pay for anything extra outside of the things that are normal within a first date in order to convince you to go on a date with him. And in my opinion, a babysitter is really outside of what is normally expected for a first date. And even though it's just one night, one babysitter, he knows that if he says yes to that, he is signing up to be a partial caretaker in those kids' lives. Kids he doesn't even know. Heck, he doesn't even know if he likes their mom. Honestly, I don't think that good men that know their value are saying yes to this. Because those men are just going to feel a little bit shocked, but then they're just going to walk away and they're going to find somebody else. But if by chance you find a man that does say yes, it's only because he sees it as temporary. Because he's seeing you as just being a short-term option. I said what I said.
Hey, one thing about it, if we're talking and you ask me if I can get a babysitter, then
mansplaining, but allow me to introduce you to she-laborating. It is when you ask a woman a very, very simple question and she sits you down and gives you a 30-minute answer.
Oh, I think this is something that a lot of women can actually admit to. Because at least one man in the world every 10 minutes is telling his lady to get to the point.
We've all heard of mansplaining, but allow me to...
I started recording my date as soon as I noticed some red flags. He said he brought something fun, so I got scared. And right before our sushi came, he pulled these out. He told me they were chopsticks with a Star Wars reference. It was super weird, and he even brought some for me, but I said no.
Let's get this straight. That man is the one that dodged the red flag. Because him bringing something to a date that is not only unexpected, but funny and also just very unique to his interest, that is a total green flag. Because that man is just being himself, and he's confident in being himself. So the only red flag is when the woman that he is showing his authentic self to belittles him or makes fun of him. Guys, I really recommend doing something like this that is very specific to your hobbies and interests. Because then you can weed out the wrong ones starting on date 1. Trust me, it will save you a lot of hassle.
I started recording my...
I get there to meet this girl for hibachi, and she brings a friend with her, and she goes, hey, would it be cool if my friend just jumps in with us, hangs out? I'm like, I guess. I mean, she's already here. Why don't I tell her, go away? We hang out, have fun, do our thing, and I'm just kind of enjoying the moment, but I know what the heck's going on. I know what's going on. So time goes by, and we're ready to pay the tab, and the cook guy goes, all right, how are we splitting up the bill today? The girl goes, all on one. So I tell her, hey, do me a favor. Will you just box up my food real quick, and I'm going to go to the restroom? She goes, yeah, no problem. Guess where I went? I didn't go to the restroom. I went in my car, and I went home. You think I'm stupid?
For anyone saying, wait, you don't know if she was putting it all on one bill because she was going to pay for it, do you know women? Because I bet you anything, this man has been through it before. He may have even been ballsy enough in the past to confront it, but I bet you anything he learned that that's a fast way ticket to being told how to be a man by that type of woman. And he wasn't doing that again.
I get...
This just goes to show that it's not about the food for men. It's about his lady putting time and effort towards something that's meant just for him. That is what makes a man feel loved. So of course, when food is served with a big dose of attitude, he doesn't want it. And this case in particular is next level because she's actually mad at him for doing something for him.
Here's some crazy research for you. So, a third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking, we like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
This has everything to do with a man's desire for peace. Because men are expected to give within a relationship. But then the second that he needs something or he's vulnerable, he's made to feel weak. And instead of finding out that he does have a ride or die kind of woman, he finds out that he really just has a woman that was only there for what he provided to her. And that hurts, leaving men to only want to put that effort into themselves and instead creating a life that is full and peaceful on their own.
Here's some crazy research for you. So
this is what I woke up to. My husband was on night shift with a baby last night. Ready? Dirty towel. Open, open. Dirty rag, swimsuit, towel. What is that? Open, open. Open, 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 open. Open, 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 open. Yes, he did make me breakfast.
That man needs to be checked on because he was fighting for his life last night. In all seriousness, I think that this is the difference between a clean as you go type of person versus a let there be a disaster and clean at the very end kind of person. But the key is for the latter is that it does actually get cleaned at the end. So hopefully this man was still in the house as his wife was enjoying breakfast and that he was planning on cleaning everything up. And if not, he's hopefully probably already recognized that he needs to manage his time a little bit better. Or maybe the baby was just having a really tough night and it couldn't be set down. And I think a lot of moms could relate to this. So instead of looking at the mess and judging that man, I think that we could look at the mess and think, wow, that was a really tough night. This poor woman got so much hate in the comments, and you can probably guess which gender had the most to say. Meanwhile, this woman is just expressing her love and doing what she can to support her man. Which, roles reversed, men that show up and show off the support that they give their wives or girlfriends, they are only praised. I would call that a double standard.
Women can do anything that men can do. Prove me wrong.
That man is demonstrating patience and mindfulness all while minding his own business and enjoying the peace.
Women can do any.
Have you guys seen the TikTok of the woman whose husband canceled their honeymoon after one day because he found out that she sent a goodbye text to her ex on the morning of their wedding? Of course her new husband would have a problem with this, but she just doesn't get it. She actually justified it by saying that she needed to say goodbye to have closure. But why did you wait for the day of your wedding? Look, for anyone in a relationship, let alone engaged, your partner never wants to feel like he's second choice. As if you're with him because your first choice didn't want it, or it's just that your first choice didn't want to shape up and be the man that you wanted him to be. And the whole closure thing is just a silly excuse because you can get closure without reaching out to someone. You can write a goodbye on a piece of paper and then burn it, because by reaching out instead, you're probably actually giving him one more chance to change your mind. Something just tells me in every one of these situations that the man on the other end receiving that is saying, heck no, good riddance.
If she's not nagging you, she's not your girlfriend. If she's not nagging you, she's not your wife. If she's easy to be with, she doesn't care about you. In case you missed that memo, gents, that's the truth.
A lot of men just want to know why the nagging. Well, I'm going to give you some insight, guys. And I know a lot of women, they would just say, well, we are forced to nag because we've asked you a first time, a second time, and a third time to do X, Y, Z. But here is where I think there is a huge disconnect. Because men will typically choose the path of least resistance. So if you're telling him to do something without asking him or asking his thoughts on if it's something that's even necessary or that he wants to do, if you instead just tell him to do it, then he never really actually agreed to it. But some men that don't want the headache of arguing with you about why he's not going to do that one thing, he might just say, okay, or I will when I can. And it's not that he's lying. He might actually end up doing it. It's just that it's only going to be when he's bored and he's looking for something extra to do.
If she's not.
So my wife calls me. She said, hey, I'm making dinner, but I realized we're out of milk. Can you stop on your way home and get some? I said, absolutely. Get to the grocery store, go up to the milk fridge, realize she never told me how much milk she needed. So I have two choices. I can get the small one and risk having it not be enough, or I get the big one and risk having it being too much. Whatever she doesn't use in her recipe sits in the fridge till it goes bad. We throw it out. I feel like I wasted my money. I get grumpy. It's basically coming down to a coin flip at this point. But then I look to my left, and in the neighboring fridge, I see these Pillsbury Halloween sugar cookies. These things are boss, by the way, not sponsored, although Pillsbury, hit me up. My wife loves these. She asserts that the ghosts are not as good as the pumpkins. I think they both taste the same, but whatever. I got the pumpkins. That way, when I get home with the big jug of milk, she'll say, geez, I didn't need that much. And I'll say, yes, but I got these that we can have with the rest of the milk. She'll be excited. She'll be happy, which makes me happy. And that, my friends, is marriage.
This just goes to show how good men are at problem solving. Because that man did not even default to calling his wife back and asking her how much milk he should buy. No, instead, he took it into his own hands and made sure that even if he had guessed wrong, he would end up with a happy wife because he got her favorite seasonal cookies. This is so clearly a good man whose efforts are probably appreciated at home.
It's not about being lonely, so I just want somebody. No, I want to be in love. I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want to make coffee with that person. I want my person. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person? I'm tired. You know, it's really hard when love is the one thing you can't force, you can't make it happen. It has to just show up, but where is it?
I honestly feel for this woman because I've been hearing a lot of different opinions about her situation. But wanting it and doing the work for it are two different things. And I truly believe that it gets harder to want to do the work as you get older. And then mix that with the fact that men are expected to put in most of the effort, at least early on in dating. Well, a lot of single men that would be in her age bracket that are happy, established, and mentally and physically healthy, they are hard to find because they're kind of just chilling at home or at work. So if you're a woman in your 20s or 30s, let this be a lesson that you need to lock in that good man and treat him right.
It's not about...
I live in an area that was affected by the hurricane, and everywhere I go, there is cleanup happening right now. It's 90-degree weather right now, and there are crews of men cleaning everything up from the hurricane. I have yet to see a single woman doing any of the cleanup. I'm sure there's a rare one out there, but I haven't seen them. The reality is the majority of the hard, back-breaking work that is done in society is done by men. The linemen that were camping in their trucks for 3 days at the fairgrounds, all of them were men. So if you're a screaming, high-body, fat feminist, at least thank the patriarchy for always cleaning up after a natural disaster.
This is exactly what I keep saying about women that say we don't need men. Because it's easy to say that when things are good and peaceful, but as soon as stuff hits the fan and there's danger, women they flock to men. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with genders having a difference and not being able to do everything that the other one can. It doesn't make you weaker unless you are refusing to recognize it.
I live in an area that was affected by the hurricane.
A
lot of men do get married because they want a maid, a chef, a house cleaner, like all of these things, which that's totally fine if that's his wants and needs out of the partner. But then don't expect for her to bring in income just as much as you.
The truth is that men just want a partner. And trust me, most men do not require some extravagant lifestyle that is provided for by his woman working. Because most men are fulfilled by their family and by their work. They don't have to have a lot of extra. So the other perspective that I would ask as a woman is how much of it are you putting on yourself? And how much of this should be talked about before getting married? Because these unspoken expectations are what break relationships. And it is both of your responsibilities to make sure that you're on the same page. Because if you do this, if you go into the marriage with everything communicated and things compromised on, but then your man doesn't hold up to it, then absolutely he's in the wrong. And you best believe he's going to know it.
A lot of men.
This question is for the men. Why are you so dramatic? So dramatic when we ask to do a simple task around the house. This goes out to the husbands. Men, husbands. I asked my husband, can you sweep and mop? Please. I'll do the bathrooms. He said, no problem. I was like speechless. He didn't fight me on it. 4 days later, this shows up.
This is just like a man, and I don't mean that in any sort of negative tone. I mean that in a very good tone. Because men are logical thinkers, and they're really good at coming up with good solutions. So honestly, I don't see any drama going on here. I just see a whole lot of logical thinking from a very smart man that likes to work smarter, not harder.
This question.
Is he happy?
Oh, that's a weird question. Usually they ask if I'm happy.
Yeah, like it's a different kind of an interview. I'm just, because he's not here, like I want to show him.
If you go for the guy that treats you like trash because he's exciting, just remember that that man is not afraid to lose you. And that's because he doesn't really care for you that much. And you're never going to change that. So once you date a few of these guys, one after another, that's when you're going to look around and say, where are all the good guys? And I'm going to tell you, that good guy left your friend zone years ago to find his queen. I don't know about you, do what you want, but I'd rather be the queen. I have said this before and I will say it again. Guys, if she disrespects you and then she refuses to take accountability, stand firm and end the relationship. Because this sort of disrespect is a huge sign that she does not value you. And if you stay in that relationship, she will probably time and time again take advantage of your love. Just walk away and know that that woman is not for you. I have said this before and I will say it again.
And then when a woman who isn't pretty makes a video talking about pretty privilege, the women dog her out real bad. That's why I always say, if you get on here, you're a guy, and you have these hot takes, and these women try to roast you, this and that and the third, you got it like, nobody gets it worse than a woman that other women don't like. If you don't fit the narrative for what they want to talk about, you about to get drugged through the mud. With that being said,
that got personal real fast, and that man was not even talking about the topics that I talk about. But it is so true, because when my hot takes do not fit the narrative of most women or many women, it shows. And it's not all women that are leaving comments. Like many of them, most of them are very sensible. I'm talking about the ones that are very obviously triggered. You know, the ones that get so upset when I talk about how men would rather be single, or when I talk about how men would rather go to another country to find a woman. Yeah, of course that doesn't fit the narrative of a group of women that just want to put the whole male gender on blast.
And then when a woman
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women. That it's better to be single, guys. They're almost like happy about the fact that they are going to make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
It is not because they're fighting a war within themselves. It is because they found peace with themselves. And she was so close. She was just so close to getting there, because at least she's recognizing what men are saying. Because they're tired of the complaining, the double standards, the expectations, and the risk of losing everything that they've built. There is no unresolved internal war going on in these men. He just found peace and contentment on his own instead of using that energy and effort on someone else.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day goes?
This is one of those things that a lot of women do not understand about their man, or they just flat out refuse to believe it. But the truth is that men are super attracted to the woman that they love in her natural state. It's why men talk about how they love it when their woman doesn't wear makeup or wears baggy clothes or wears her hair in a bun. It also means that he doesn't have to wait hours to go do something with you. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't like you all done up, because he does like those occasions, but he just doesn't want it to have to be every single day. And a lot of that has to do with just the fact that you're relaxed and he can touch you without messing anything up. He can kiss you without getting lipstick all over his face, and he can smell your natural odors, which, trust me, ladies, men like.
The dating coach was a really good looking guy. He was like hovering, pretending like he's looking at some frozen pizzas or whatever. And I'm looking at like frozen pizzas. And this guy was very socially awkward, kind of like looking really nervous. And I was just like, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. He's like, oh, I see you like pasta. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. And it was just, didn't know what to say. This was so awkward. And I kind of ranted about mainstream yesterday because I feel like these pickup artist dating coaches, they're not really doing their clients any service, because, like, you know, talking to me, like, I'm not saying the hottest girl in the world, but, like, he should go up to someone that would want him to approach him. You know what I mean? Like, unless he's just learning to accept rejection, or I don't know what it was, but I just kind of, why me? Like, why did he have to come to me? Go to women that want you to approach them. Like, think about who wants this. Not me.
I never really understand hating on someone that is trying to go outside their comfort zone, whether it's a man or a woman. They're doing something that makes them nervous. That is an impact that I would never want to give a man, no matter how far out of his league I thought I was. Because honestly, to think that you're outside anyone's league is kind of gross.
The dating coach was really good.
A man comes home from work, there's only one thing he really wants. He wants to have a little bit of peace and quiet. And if you have something you want to discuss with him and all day you've been waiting for him to finally come home, please wait a little bit. Because there's one thing many women don't understand about men. Men are supposed to solve problems all day and every day. They have to go out into the world and do their best to make money, because otherwise they're being seen as a loser. But men also get tired. And if they just go from problems at work to problems at home, they never get a break. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't share any problems with him, but what you could do as a woman is to wait at the door, give him a kiss, ask him how his day was, let him unwind, prepare him a drink, and start talking to him after half an hour. When you do that, you make him feel better about himself, because you give him space to relax and to just think of nothing if he wants to. Because the last thing you want is to bombard him at the door already with everything that's been happening and that you need his help, and he will probably try to solve it for you. But the man comes home from work, there's only one thing he really wants.
If you're a man frustrated with dating, just remember these 3 things. Number 1, take advantage of the free time. Go golfing, go to the bar, sit and read a book, go on that long hike, see your friends, watch the game uninterrupted. Because someday your wife is going to prevent all of that. 2, be the person that you want to date, meaning take care of yourself. Get to the gym, hydrate, eat healthy, and don't forget to take care of your skin. If you guys don't know where to start when it comes to taking care of your skin, I recommend checking out Tiege Hanley. Their products come with an easy-to-follow morning and night routine that will leave your skin smelling, looking, and feeling good. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's advice, they're offering 40% off your first box plus a free gift. Just use this link. Lastly, number 3, laugh at the red flags. Tell about them in stories to your friends, and then run far, far away. If you're
That's what you guys are, just a couple of meat guys.
To me, it looks like he's the one that's uncomfortable, because he's wondering why you're recording him, and then you're there making an assumption that he's looking at you because you're attractive and he's looking at you in that way. It actually kind of makes you the creep.
My husband said I was one of the most beautiful men in the world. One of. No, not the one. One of the most beautiful women in the world. Most likely, there's a group of us. There's not a group that he finds to be beautiful women, and I'm one of them.
No.
I'm flattered because I'm one of those women that he's thinking of right now in his head. I'm one of them. I'm not the one, but I can't point out that. But there probably is one that he thinks about.
First of all, that man is fighting for his life. Second of all, this is a great example of how having an overthinker within the relationship, whether it's the man or the woman, makes for some extra challenges. But what's most important is that the overthinker communicates their wayward thinking and they remain open to their partner's response. And then the one that's not the overthinker, they have to remain as patient as possible. And bonus points to the couple that can recognize this within the relationship and they can create some levity. They can make fun of it.
My husband said I was one of the most beautiful men in the world.
I said, breathe in, breathe out. I'm not going to scream and shout. I said, breathe in, breathe out. Don't knock their ass out. I said, breathe in.
He is a liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why don't you work for him?
Savannah, slow down. I'm going to ask your question. Don't worry, I'm here.
He is a liar, as you say?
Well,
Can you explain to me why I just got a ticket for no insurance?
On your vehicle.
Yeah.
I took it off.
Why did you take the insurance off of the car?
Because we don't need it insured.
The law says you do.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I have a ticket telling me that the law says that I do.
We'll fight it because you
How?
don't need the insurance on the car if you're not planning on filing a claim if something happens to that car. That's the law. You don't need it on your car.
You need insurance to operate a vehicle. Like
No,
you
you-
need it to. Yes.
Only if you want it to get like fixed.
I'm pretty sure that this is a skit, but even so, it demonstrates something that men have gone through in relationships. And that is his girlfriend, his wife, talking in circles instead of taking accountability. Even within the skit, this woman refuses to take accountability for what she did and to just apologize and to believe that her husband is correct. Meanwhile, her husband is demonstrating such patience. And while we all can make stupid mistakes in relationships, the key is to take accountability for them. As a woman, if you can do this, your man is literally never going to remain mad at you.
Can you explain to me?
So, this is for you. Remember how they gave anxiety a chair in a movie? This is your chair and yours to see your period. Because right now, I think you're somewhere in between this and this, more than you are between that and this. So whenever you start to feel here, it's coming too much, I need you to come sit in here, light the candle with a drink, next to your favorite color rose, and just relax for like 10 minutes. Hey Alexa, set a timer for 8 minutes. You ain't allowed to leave until the timer up.
You don't know how my phone? My phone?
Nope. Because all you gonna do on your phone is look at stuff. You can turn on a TV show or something. You want to turn on something? Okay.
I have a drink upstairs.
Okay, you got that one now.
Okay.
Don't leave until that timer up.
I kind of love how this husband just put his wife into timeout without her really realizing it. No, in all seriousness, I think that it is amazing when you have a partner that really knows you so well that they can push you gently to do what you need to do for yourself, which is exactly what this husband has done for his wife.
When a man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start say stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. When a man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start say stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start saying stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start saying stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. When the man opens up, when he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start saying stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. When he really opens up, don't you use what he said when he was open to prove a point when you want to win an argument. You will never hear the full story from us ever again. And we'll start saying stuff like this. How are you? Good. And let me tell you, if you make us feel unsafe, you'll never hear from us again. If I tell you something in a moment of vulnerability and you use it against me in an argument, you can forget me talking to you forever. And you keep talking about he quiet, he shut down, he's in this man cave, he won't open up because when he did open up, you shut the door open. I ain't good, I just ain't telling you.
Open up to a woman? Never. No. When's the last time you think you opened up to a woman? You don't. In your whole life? I'll tell you. Because once you do, I want something more there, they're going to throw it back in your face. That's what? Real. That's what? So we can't ever.
The world can't see your head down one time. The day you fall off, that woman ain't interested in your face. She don't want to hear no complaint. The day you come home and think you could be like, baby, I was down, I lost it. She gonna be stroke your ego, but she gonna remember that time. You cannot let them see you one time down.
Real life hit me last night.
What you mean?
Life hit me last night.
In what way?
Well, I laid down on the bed and noticed, damn, I'm really all I got. I just noticed, man, I'm on my own, for real. If I could bring anybody back, it'd be me from all the situations I did some dumb shit in. And I could have came back to me right here, that's what I would have did.
That's hard.
Because I ain't here to make nobody happy. I'm going to make one person happy, 9 other people going to be mad. You got to say yourself.
No, that's hard right there.
It was like, damn, the people I thought that loved me, that say they love me, the people who I thought was for me, you know, everybody really just said, fuck me. And once I seen that, you know, I had to look in the mirror myself. And I had to tell myself, like, damn, like, only one can change this shit is you. So I had to bet on myself, man. So that's what I did.
I don't have a million friends. I sort of keep myself to myself. I'm not a loner, but I'm not like the most outgoing person you're ever going to meet. I'm not going to go into a room with people I don't know and just be very, very loud. And that's just how I've always been. It sort of works for me. I live on my own. I'm not always out with my friends doing this and that. And I think a part of being a footballer, you know, you can't go out on the weekends when you're growing up and things like this. There's sort of sacrifices you have to make.
I isolate myself. I don't look at messages on Instagram. I don't send messages on Instagram. I don't go out. You would not like my life. No, it'd be boring. Just take away all distractions. I mean, I'm 33 years old. I would love to have a family and love to be married, but it didn't happen. And I haven't met a girl that I feel can bring stability and not instability. And so I don't care about anything else. I don't care about pussy. I don't care about drinking. I don't care about food. I'm alone just because I'm alone. You know, like I'm just used to being alone.
The environment I grew up in, man, like, you know, like your family members that got them steal your shit, help you look for it. I know anybody across you. I've been through that, you know. So you don't trust nobody. I trust people to be themselves, man, at the end of the day. You know, I trust people to be themselves, and I know it's human nature to preserve, you know what I'm saying, your own best interest. This is what I know.
Always trust everyone to be themselves, but trust in the fact that you can see them well. I mean, trust them to be them.
To be themselves.
Trust the snake to bite you. Trust the lion to lie for you. Trust the thief to steal from you. Like, trust them to be them, but know them when you see them.
Almost definitely hard to lose. It's hard to love me. I come with a lot, you know, so you have to be strong. You got to be strong just to deal with me, but I'd rather be hard to deal with than easy to play with.
I wish them the best of everything, best of luck, best of all that, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like, I don't respect nobody.
I want everybody to know this. Trauma don't have to be a death.
Facts.
But trauma could be something as simple as a lie that got told to you when you thought you.
It says, this place where you are right now, God circled on the map for you. This moment where I am right now, God circled on the map for you. The moments, the encounters, the situations, the experiences, the circumstances, God circled on the map for me. Meaning every moment, everything I encounter is something in that moment for me, in my development, my growth, my press as a person. Is it easy? By no stretch. When we're in certain moments that don't feel good, I can say, all right, this moment where I am right now, God circled on a map for me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting me. Now, what's the lesson? What's the blessing? What's the press? What's the growth?
God will give you the vision at the end. He won't tell you how to get there because you need faith to get there. Where you're at in your life, if you're uncomfortable, if you're mad, if you're upset, listen to what you're asking God for and realize that He's putting you through what you're praying for. So if you want to be great, know that you have to go through things that will make you great. And God's like, all right, man, but well, look how many obstacles I'm going to have to put you through because you need to mentally prepare yourself. I can't just give it to you.
It says, this place where
Don't let life fuck you up. It's yours. It's yours to drive. Get up in the morning, write down what you're going to do in a day. Be happy on your way to your job, even if you don't like it. You got to be happy on your way to happy. Don't think you're going to get there and be happy. You carry yourself with you.
don't let life stop you from living life. All that you feel, all that you're carrying, all that you've seen, all that you've heard, all that you've been exposed to, all of those experiences, they are all very, very real. You may not be telling people about them, but you're thinking about them, you're carrying it, you're processing, you're triggered by it. It's all still there. But do yourself a favor. Make the decision that you're not going to let life stop you from living life. You run your race, and you'll feel much better about it in the end.
No matter how much emotional feeling you may have, or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop at anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever. Grudges and anger and negativity, I don't have time for it.
Don't let.
Sometimes I look back at my life and just smile, man. 'Cause I came a long way, bro. Real talk. And then the shit that, like a lot of shit that I went through, you expect like my mind to be fucked up, like my head to be fucked up, nigga be crazy or something. But I'm actually a well-rounded, intellectual, intelligent young man, you know? And I feel like the things that I went through kind of helped me when it was supposed to like tear me down.
On some real shit, nobody want I've been through. Nobody want to still going. I done came like so far with this shit and still had a long way to go. Like, man, I don't want to quit this shit so many times, man.
I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've been had it figured out.
What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Everything is your fault. you were the CEO of your life. And made so many excuses as to why I was late to calls, why I didn't hit my assignments, why I didn't do what I needed to do. And he had this really tough conversation, and he said, Rob, if a business succeeds, whose fault is it? And I was like, I mean, what do you mean? He's like, if business succeeds, all 1,000 employees move into the direction they have a successful year. Whose fault is it? And I was like, the CEO. He said, if a business fails, whose fault is it? It was the CEO. He said, Rob, if you get to the end of your life and it's not what you wanted it to be, and you didn't create the life that you wanted to, make the money that you wanted to, have the success, the love, the happiness, travel the places that you wanted to, whose fault would it be? And I said, it'd be my fault. And he said, if you did create the life that you wanted to, had the love, the happiness, the abundance, everything that you wanted, whose fault would that be? And I said, it'd be my fault. And he said, the problem with you is you're treating this life as if you're the victim. And what you need to realize that everything that happens to you is your fault, and that your life won't change until you decide that you want to be the CEO of your life.
Everything's pretty much up to you, man. Nobody's going to force you to do anything cool. Nobody's going to force you to go hard. Nobody's going to force you to go to bed on time. There's no forcing. It's all internal. So whether you want to do something cool and long term and fucking go hard on a consistent basis and make legit progress towards whatever end goal you think is, and it doesn't even have to be that deep. It's just something you think is cool.
If a bird lands on the branch, does the bird trust the branch or does it trust its wings? And the clue, I've seen many birds land on branches, but what I've never seen is a branch break and a bird falling down. Trust.
I'm dead praying for all this. It sounds so crazy, but I'm really praying. I'm not acting. Everybody deserves to eat. Everybody deserves to eat at your table. Who you invest your time with and spend your time with, is it valuable? Or are you just wasting time?
Wow. Can you read the quote once more? Don't eat with people you wouldn't starve with. If you really care about them, you're supposed to want to see them happy, even if it ain't with you. Like, a lot of this shit ain't long term. You're supposed to fuck with some people and y'all learn from each other and become friends or whatever. Fuck it.
But y'all wasn't fucking listening to me, bro. Y'all ignored me, bro. Y'all laughed at me, bro, and shitted on me, bro, like I was nothing. Y'all gonna respect it. Y'all ain't gotta like me. I ain't did nothing to nobody my whole career, bro. But try to help people and make fun music and be this happy young kid.
Because you watch me as a friend, don't mean me as an enemy. I still don't see you enemy. Just not at my table.
On my life, I wish them nothing but the best. Man, I hope they prosper. I hope their kids are fine.